The town we now call Davison began in 1831. Judge Norman Davison settled here. As the story goes, the judge was the only white settler between Grand Blanc and the St. Clair River. 5 years later, several members of the Seeley family arrived from Charleston, New York. Andrew, Alson, and Debbie bought 240 acres from Judge Davison. In 1837, their parents also moved here. Later that year, Andrew and Alson built a general store on Ridge Road. They called the area Seeleyville. Ridge Road no longer exists, but it used to run from Atlas to Lapeer. The first school started in 1839, but it wasn't like the school you go to today. There was only one room where all the students learned. The younger students, think of yourself, third graders, went to school in the summer. The older students, say high school age, went to school in the winter. Another earlier settler in the Davison area was called Goodenough Townsend. He helped to organize the people already living in the area, and in 1840, those 15 families asked the state legislature to officially make the place they lived a township. They named it Davison Township, after Judge Norman Davison. There still was not a lot of people living in the area. In fact, most early stories talk about the four-legged creatures living around the homestead. For instance, herds of deer routinely walked through the backyard. Sometimes a bear could be seen carrying off a pig, and once a pack of wolves fought in Eleazar Thirster's front yard. The area began to build up in 1852 at the corner of Lapeer Road and M15. Seth Wicker, Sr., built a large hotel and tavern. That became the first official Davison post office, and the area became known as Wickers Corners. In 1865, Seth Wicker Jr. built a general store across from the hotel and later added a livery. It became the way station and horse transfer point for the stagecoach line running from Flint to Lapeer. The area of Wickers Corners thrived for several years until the railroad made its way into Davison. While you might think that would help business, the railroad company decided to put the tracks 1 mile north of Wickers Corners, and that eventually signaled the end of the bustling community. In 1871, the railroad passed through Davison, connecting Port Huron and Flint. In the beginning, the train made no regular stops here. Mail was just thrown off the train. If someone wanted to ride the train, it had to be flagged down to make it stop so passengers could board. Once the railroad came through, an area called Davison Station began to take shape. Today, we know this area is downtown Davison. Early industries in Davison included a washing machine factory, a brickyard, a company that made heated bathtubs, a cheese factory, and a sawmill. In 1894, a fire destroyed much of the downtown business district. On April 30th, someone saw smoke coming out of the storeroom of Dugan's drugstore, and very quickly the wooden building was in flames. That fire quickly spread throughout the city and even caused an explosion when it reached some gunpowder. Firefighters from Flint came to help, but much of the town was already destroyed. About a year later, in 1885, the Davison Volunteer Fire Department was created. Horse racing started in 1904 and became a popular attraction in the area for many years. You're probably used to seeing several telephones in your house, but that's not how it used to be. In fact, in 1883, there was just one phone in the entire town. It took almost 75 years before people had their own phones. Now, Davison is a bustling community. Currently, there are about 31,500 people living in the area. That includes the city of Davison, along with Richfield and Davison Townships. The Davison school system is much bigger. Students are separated by age. The district has 4 elementary schools, an intermediate and middle school, plus a high school.